What's up everyone, welcome back. Patrick here, and in this video what we got to do is simplify each of these three expressions here. Notice that they're all rational expressions. So what we're going to do is go through those same steps. We're going to factor the numerator and denominator, we're going to state restrictions, and then we're going to simplify. So starting with number one, we got 15x squared plus 5x minus 10 all over 9x squared minus 4. So notice here, to start, we could actually factor out a 5 from the top. So we would end up with 3x squared plus x minus 2. All over, this here is a difference of squares here, this 9x squared minus 4. This would factor into 3x minus 2 times 3x plus 2, like that. And then actually this bracket, 3x squared plus x minus 2, that factor. So if we work with this on the side here, I'm going to run decomposition on this. So notice that 3 times negative 2 gives us negative 6, and then we have this plus 1 here. So basically what two numbers multiply to negative 6 and add up to positive 1, that would be 3 and minus 2. So then we would decompose that 1x here into those two numbers, plus 3x minus 2x minus 2, like that. And then we factor by grouping. So we could take out a 3x here, and then over here we could take out a minus 2. And then we could take out an x plus 1, so we'd have 3x minus 2, like that. So this turns into that. So I'm going to take this bracket, and I'm going to rewrite it just to save room. This could be like your next line, like that. Now from here, before simplifying, what you want to do is you want to get the restrictions. So basically, what x values make the denominator equal to 0? Well, when does 3x minus 2 equal 0? When does 3x plus 2 equal 0? That's going to happen at an x value of 2 over 3. This is going to happen at an x value of negative 2 over 3. So we got the restrictions. X can't be this, x can't be that. Notice that this and this cancel out, and then we can't simplify any further, so our final answer is 5x plus 1 all over 3x plus 2. And then our restrictions, x cannot equal plus or minus 2 over 3. So that ends up being the final answer for simplifying number 1. Now number 2, same sort of deal. What we're going to do is we're going to factor the numerator and denominator first. So 8x squared, let's do this on this side here. 8x squared minus 10xy minus 3y squared. So basically, what two numbers multiply to negative 24? 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. So what two numbers multiply to negative 24, and what two numbers add up to the b value, which is negative 10? So if we look at this more closely, we realize that what? Negative 12 and positive 2 work? Right? You got to be careful. You might think, even through my mind right now, ran negative 6 and negative 4. Negative 6 plus negative 4 is negative 10, but negative 6 times negative 4 gives us positive 24, not negative 24. So just be careful with the numbers you choose here. So negative 12 and positive 2 are the correct ones. So we would decompose this negative 10xy to negative 12xy plus 2xy minus 3y squared. It doesn't matter which order you put these two in, you're going to end up getting the final same answer anyway. Then we factor by grouping. So out of these two, we could take out a 4x. So this would be 2x minus 3y, like that. And then from these two, we could take out a y. So we would be left with 2x minus 3y. And then notice we could take out a 2x minus 3y from both of these, and then we're left with a 4x plus y, like that. So this numerator factors into that. So we would have 2x minus 3y, and then we'd have 4x plus y, like that. And then down here, what we could do, we could take out a 3. So we'd be left with 2x squared minus xy minus 3y squared, like that. And then what we want to do is we want to see if we could factor this bracket here, right? This 2x squared minus xy minus 3y squared. And in fact, we can. So if I write this over here, there's like a minus 1 there. What two numbers multiply to -6 and add up to -1? That would be -3 and +2. So we decompose this to -3xy plus 2xy minus 3y squared. From these two, we could take out an x. And then from these two, we could take out a y. And remember, these two brackets should always be the same. So we can now factor out that bracket. And that's what it factors to. So this bracket factors into these two. And so if we write those brackets, we'll have 2x minus 3y, and then we'll have x plus y. Like that. And then from here, before we simplify, we want to get the restrictions, right? Remember that step for getting the restrictions comes after the factoring, before the simplifying. So over here, basically 2x minus 3y cannot equal 0. And you want to isolate for the x or y. So if we isolate for the x, basically x cannot equal 3y over 2. Or if we isolate for the y, bring this over, divide by 3, y cannot equal 2x over 3. So either of these work for this bracket over here. I'm going to use the x one, and then notice that x plus y cannot equal 0. So if we isolate for the x cannot equal -y, or y cannot equal -x. So you'd either write these two restrictions or these two. I'm going to write these two at the end. So those are our restrictions, and then notice that this and this cancel. So now we simplify, so our final answer ends up being 4x plus y over 3 times x plus y, and basically x cannot equal 3y over 2, and x cannot equal -y. Those are our two restrictions. Right? So this here ends up being the final answer when we simplify that rational expression right there. And then finally, number 3. Number 3 is actually pretty easy compared to these ones, because notice that over here, we actually have to simplify this numerator first, right? We can't factor at this point because it's not expanded fully like these were, right? These were already expanded for you, so we just had to factor. This is not fully expanded yet. So what we got to do is we got to actually simplify this. So notice 6x minus 4x, that's what you'd end up getting, multiplying these two, and those would be like terms. 6x minus 4x would give us 2x. Minus 9, right? 3 times -3. Minus 2 times -4 gives us positive a, so we would end up having 2x minus 1. Right there, up there. So all of that simplifies to all of this. And then 4x squared minus 4x plus 1, you can actually factor this. This is actually a perfect square trinomial. Basically, what two numbers multiply to 4, right? 4 times 1 and add up to -4, -2, -2. So this would be 4x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 1. We could take out a 2x. We could take out a -1, and then we could take out a 2x minus 1, and we're left with a 2x minus 1. So it's basically 2x minus 1 to the power of 2. That's why I said this is a perfect square trinomial. So that's what it factors into, 2x minus 1 to the power of 2. We get our restrictions. Basically, 2x minus 1 cannot equal 0. So basically, x cannot equal 1 over 2. That's the restriction. There's only one factor. There's two of the same factor, right? So 2x minus 1 is the only factor we have to work with to get the restriction. And then notice this and one of these cancel out. So we're just left with a 1 up top over 2x minus 1, x cannot equal 1 over 2. So that ends up being the final simplified expression for number 3.